Their power can bring us closer to the truth. But because of our own deeply held beliefs and the judgments that we make, they can also be a weapon with a great power to manipulate. Ladies and gentlemen, be aware.
Kevin Klein. And Layla George. Congratulations to all of you. These are 3 parts that you've seen of 7, and starting with Alfonso.
Yeah, it's a long introduction apparently. I just looking forward for the audience to experiment the second part of it. I'm so happy to present anything in at TIFF. It was my very first festival, and it was the festival that launched my career, so I'm obviously happy to be here. She sent me the galleys, that is before it was printed, and I immediately saw a film. But at the time I could not fathom how to make it work as a conventional length film. And it was until later when this idea came up, and I have to say that the process of writing the script was very quick.
No, time has collapsed. It was pre-pandemic, wasn't it? And I was told by my agent, Hilda, that Alfonso wanted to call me about something. And he was so cryptic. You said, I've written the script, and you very, very, in a way, what you've seen from 3 episodes, it was a very loose outline of the 3 episodes, and said, I don't want to talk to you until after you've read it. And so I read it, and then I threw it across the room. And then, whenever you throw anything across the room, you realize that, you're confronted and challenged by it. And so then we began talking after that. But I think that was prior to the pandemic, and you didn't want to shoot under COVID conditions, although everyone got COVID anyway, so it was very, very, very slow, but quite a long time ago, yeah. But look, when you get that call, you've already made the decision that you're going to embark upon whatever that experimentation is with, one of the world's greatest living directors, and so, yeah. And so you say, a tree or a lamppost or whatever, I'm there. So it was that kind of feeling.
And Kevin, my career began here at TIFF with The Big Chill. And I believe we had the 30th anniversary screening here as we did.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. The 150 next centenary edition. I just love Toronto. The people.
Longest street in the world.
How did I age? I don't know. I can't remember. It was the story. I just took each day as it came. And Alfonso reminded me, you're young now, or you're old, or you're older now. Okay, it took a long time to shoot, so that was very helpful to remind me. I don't know how I did. I don't know how I did it. I never do.
Well, you did it. I was brought in quite late in the process, and so by the time I got to London, there was only a couple weeks before I started, and unfortunately Kate was just wrapping up. So I didn't get a chance to shadow her as I might have wanted to, but we had a couple hours where we blocked through some of the scenes so I could see what she had in her head about them, and then I got to see some scenes that she'd already shot. But you know, just to look at her physicality, and I worked with a dialect coach to help me kind of with the voice. But really, Kate was just so generous with me when we met that one day. She said, "Hey, it's you now, and go," and that was, you know, good luck, and that was really liberating and gave me the freedom to kind of trust that Alfonso would steer me in the right direction if I needed to, but also hopefully just honor the incredible work and character that she had already created.
Well, from the get-go, from the moment that I started conversations with Kate, she became like a full-time collaborator. So I have to say that the casting process was a dialogue between Kate and I, and that's how the amazing idea of Kevin came to
I got
place.
10%.
Yeah, exactly. And but it was a bit like that, and it was it was a long process of casting and trying to figure out the people would be interesting for this, and also to try to make a casting that is unexpected, not try to just fall into the usual kind of formulas of casting.
But also, I mean, Kevin's name in the industry is Kevin Decline. And he says no to everything. And so the idea that he might say yes was kind of a long distance hope. So the fact that he did was fantastic. But the other thing I must say, a disclaimer here, is that not everything you see is necessarily true. And so the interesting thing, I think, for all of us playing this is that we were playing a version of reality, and that I found it so fascinating to play these characters that were formed through the prisms of other people's judgments and perspectives. And so from Layla's point of view, like the young Catherine, or the older Catherine, or Stephen, or Sasha's character, or Cody, who's so beautiful in the film, and it's so sad that they're not here tonight because it is such an ensemble. That even in a family unit, we are so, that's why everyone fears Christmas or Thanksgiving, is because you go back and you become the version of yourself that your family says you are. And what is so amazing is that these characters are actually, they come to life through the perspectives of the other characters. So it was a really sort of intricate and strange, I'd never had an experience like it, creating a character like that actually was seen through the eyes of the other characters, rather than saying, this is who I am, this is my character's identity. It was a very kind of fluid process, actually.
And at the end, the characters really come to life through the eyes of the audience. And probably that's the most important kind of all the narratives that we deal in this film. The most important is the narrative that the audience is making as is watching.
Yeah.
Different thematic things that were very rich, so that we took and we tried to follow through. But then in the process, and not only in the adaptation, later on the rewrite, it was about, because Kay had done so much research. I started having conversations again with people who knew about the thematic elements of what we deal with. And it was about trying to make sure that all the elements were in place. Because something is very important is that in reality the whole thing needs to be watched twice. So, and And when you rewatch it, you have to make sure that there's not one false note. And that was something we were very concerned about. And of course, then we added also thematics that we thought were important.
But you do this for an audience, and that you guys, in a way, none of this makes sense until you guys see it. And so we're so grateful that you are the first North American audience to see it. And so that we are so curious to see what you make of it right through to the end. And so we trust you to see it right through to the end, and then trust you to keep that experience to yourselves. Thank you. People, you know, we're all the heroes of our own narratives, but yet, in order to know what that hero's narrative is, you need to hear their story right through to the end. You know, we live in a world where we're very quick to make judgments. And I think this story invites us to make quick judgments, but maybe suspend those judgments right through to the end. So we'll be very curious to sort of interface with you. Interface? That's a very modern term. Quite sexual, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to be here with that. But yeah, to see what you make of it when you get right through to the end. So yeah. And thank you to the festival for providing that opportunity.
Hey!